Yeah. Okay, I think that's it. Yeah. All right. You don't have to worry about this. We'll just use the screen, small screen. We'll just use a small screen. Yeah, it's not. The input's not working for whatever reason. So. All right. Testing. Huh? No, I'll move it. I'll do it. It's okay. It's here. It's right here. It's no big deal. Yeah, it's gone. You said this is. Huh? Oh, I thought you said arrow. Oh, no. All right, everybody, we're going to start now. And I wish we had a big screen, but we don't. But it's, let me try to move this so that everybody can see it. It's a little screen. It's like looking at your phone while we're giving a talk. Yeah. All right, we can see that. Okay. All right, so let's get started because we have to kind of go through this. It's a detailed presentation, and I'm going to switch the microphone between Denise and I, and we are getting this recorded. So hopefully, it's not. It's only working on this. Yeah, so that you all can watch it in the future if you want. Yeah, so you won't hear the air conditioner or whatever instead of us. So okay, why don't we start?
Sure. You have the first slide. So this is my husband, Mike Young. He founded aPlantBasedDiet.org, our 501c3. He founded it back in 2014 because he didn't know anyone else who was eating like he was and wanted to start a community. So our mission is to improve lives by raising awareness about a plant-based diet and encouraging anyone to move in that direction. Next slide. And I'm Denise Young. I'm the treasurer of aPlantBasedDiet.org. When I met Mike in 2014, I was 2017. Sorry, I was not yet vegan. Actually, I was on a paleo diet. I was just following whatever the latest trend was. And yeah, he told me I had it all backwards. So I read the China study. And I didn't want to end up like people in my family that had diabetes and cancer. So I changed almost immediately, like overnight, and I haven't gone back. And I lost 30 pounds that year. We started running 5Ks again. And I can fit back into my clothes that I wore in the 8th grade. So I'm not going back.
Okay, our nonprofit is called aPlantBasedDiet.org, and our slogan is People, Animals, and Our Planet. So we're a totally vegan organization. You guys probably know what that is, right? Don't use animal products. I just want to let people know because sometimes they're plant-based and say that's not vegan, or vice versa. But we're actually both. And our slogan for People, Animals, and Our Planet means that we focus on all the facets: human health, protecting animals, and protecting the environment. And I just wanted to say about the environment, actually, the best thing you can do for the environment is to eat the best way you can for your health, believe it or not. Same with the animals. It doesn't go the other way. We have problems with people who are actually practicing traditional veganism having health issues, but it's not the other way around. So we're going to get into that as we go with the talk. Okay, this is it. Okay, yeah, this is it. Sustainable veganism. If you go to our website, aPlantBasedDiet.org, you'll see that we coined a term called sustainable veganism. Now, what we found was we were doing festivals through our nonprofit called Veg Fest. You guys familiar with what they are? Okay. We were doing them, but what we found was that the food was actually harming the attendees. We tried to evolve it, and we came up with what we call healthy vegan food, and that's what's at this event. Sarah and Nick put it together, which is awesome, and they agreed to Chase, I'm sorry, yeah. Yeah, I just met Chase for the first time today, actually, even though we had talked. So anyway, they did an awesome job, and that's what we want to see going forward. That's all we participate in going forward. And the reason why is because we've seen a lot of ex-vegans, and usually, even though they don't say it, the main reason why people stop practicing veganism is because they have a health issue. It's usually a health crisis because they're eating just vegan food, and word on the street is that vegan food is healthy, right? Plant-based food is healthy. But the reality is most of the plant-based food and vegan food that people are eating is actually harmful to your health. The only thing that is different is if you try to practice sustainable veganism. So if you all are familiar with the Watson definition of veganism, it says that you do everything as far as practicable and possible to not hurt animals. Does that sound familiar? Practicable and possible? Because nobody knows perfect. Nobody can be perfect. People say there's animal products in people's tires, okay? Like, you can't be perfect, okay? You do as best as you possibly can, and then when you learn something new, then you do even more. And we want that to be the same way with sustainable veganism. So in other words, you do everything as far as practicable and possible to keep yourself in the best state of health. Because if you're not doing that, you're probably going to get sick practicing veganism or doing anything. So that's sustainable veganism.
Very nice. So something we like to say is health is the real wealth. You can do well in your career, but you're not going to feel well unless you keep yourself healthy. And people don't realize what they have health-wise until they encounter some kind of health crisis, and they don't realize what they've lost. So we like to teach people to protect their health. And life and health is about balance. I mean, we don't do all healthy stuff all the time. We like to have fun too, but it's all about balance. The bad can't outweigh the good that you're doing.
Before we move on, I wanted to mention two things. Yeah, our secret mission is to have fun. I wanted to let you guys know, because does anybody like being sick? Raise your hand if you like being sick. Okay, so we all agree that you have to do the best you can for your health to avoid being sick. So we're basically telling you how to have fun. We don't want this to be boring in any way. So anything we get involved with, we want to have a good time, like this event here. Another thing I wanted to ask you guys is, anybody here from Florida? Okay, tell me, you all know about the algae problem with the water, right? Yeah, okay. Well, basically what happens is you got algae blooms in the water, right? It's a crisis. It comes up every so often, red tide, right? And what causes that? Well, there's a number of things. It's runoff from animal agriculture. It's also, you guys heard of Big Sugar, right? Big Sugar is, the way it works, in case you don't know, you need to know this from Florida. Below Lake Okeechobee is sugar areas where they're sugar farming. And what they do is they don't grow it organically. And of course, sugar is processed sugar, which is not optimizing your health. I'm trying to make a connection here. So if you're not optimizing your health, you're eating processed sugar, you're contributing to Big Sugar down there, because they have giant acreage down there, and they back pump all their filthy water into the lake. It shoots out into the side rivers, and that's what causes all these algae blooms. It's a major contributor. It's not the only cause. So animal agriculture and Big Sugar contribute to the environmental problems. I have a video, and you'll have our contact information at the end if you want to check it out, where I drew the connection between the water problems in Florida, solving the water problems in Florida, and optimizing your health. The only way you're going to solve the water problems in Florida is by optimizing your health and focusing exclusively on that. So if you want that video, just let me know.
Thanks. Next slide. So we're not sure if you're aware, we have a little slide here. Most diseases that people have are non-communicable diseases. I'll call it NC. Yeah, NCDs. It'll come back. You unplug the HDMI. Oh, if you just hit. We tried, but we couldn't get rid of the internet error message. It just wouldn't go away.
Yeah, we wish we could get it going. I'm not.
I think if you hit escape, the screen will come back after you unplug that. So you just need to hit escape. Well, he wants to try again. You can plug it in.
Those remotes don't work with that TV.
Yeah, the remotes aren't for the TV.
It's okay. Yeah,
it's all right.
Ground to cover. So get the NCDs. You're talking about NCDs?
Yeah. So who can give me an example of a non-communicable disease? A popular one. Here you go. Heart disease. Yeah, diabetes, cancer. Yeah, Crohn's.
Disease, actually, is non-communicable, meaning you don't catch it from somebody, right?
Right.
If you catch it, occasionally you'll get a cold or a virus. That's a communicable disease. But the reality is that 75% of all health issues are something that is created through your own choices and lifestyle. And the World Health Organization knows this. That's why this chart here has 7 out of the top 10, okay? And it is true also universally, about 75% of all illnesses universally that are happening right now, not even causing death, because death, yes, 75% of the time is non-communicable. What we're trying to tell you guys is that if it's non-communicable, you can start, hopefully find a doctor who is board certified in lifestyle medicine. You guys familiar with what lifestyle medicine is? It's a newer field of medicine. It legitimizes everything that we're discussing. And it means that your insurance will pay for it. Well, I forgot to be holding that. Yeah. Yeah. So, well, as long as your doctor, and any doctor, can become board certified in lifestyle medicine, these doctors are what I would consider enlightened. All right? Well, let's see. Well,
You can find them in different, wherever your area is. You can just ask that office if they're.
well, just talk to us. Talk to us afterwards. Send us an email. Yeah, it's hard. Right now, it is a little bit challenging to find a doctor, but we can pinpoint you. Well, there are several, there are about 25 different lifestyle medicine organizations at the present time around the world. And each of those has the ability to certify any doctor. So those would be a resource. But right now, there's no universal resource, but we can help point you in the right direction.
So I go to Vegan Primary Care, Dr. Scott Harrington. He can do telemedicine. Yeah, and he's in the Tampa area, but he does telemedicine, so you don't have to travel to him. So,
Don't worry about that.
yeah.
We tried
So the most popular non-communicable disease is heart disease. It's the #1 killer, and that's like global. And it's not necessary for you to get heart disease, but most people who are following a standard American diet, eating at the drive-through every day, they're inevitably gonna get. And that's just our mission, to make people more aware of this and help them make better choices.
Yeah, so basically we envision a time in the very near future, hopefully with you guys' help, that non-communicable disease is a thing of the past, because we're trying to convey it's modifiable, meaning preventable, haltable, reversible, optional, okay? So there will be a time in the very near future when hopefully we're not needed to say this anymore, but for right now, what we're going to do is we're trying to gather everyone together that's like-minded, that's open-minded. That's the key, open-minded people. There's no other requirement. As long as you are and you're here, you must be, okay? Go tell everybody you know.
Yes, tell your friends and your family.
Yes. Maybe you had a question.
It's fun.
Oh, okay, I'll do it.
Advance it. Is your clicker not working? It's not advancing.
Non-communicable disease pie chart.
Oh,
That's your
yeah.
stuff. Your
Yeah.
different types.
So yeah, if you see the pie chart, the non-communicable diseases is in blue. That's 74%. Heart disease being #1, stroke, and pulmonary disease being #3. So most of these are all haltable, preventable, and reversible.
Alzheimer's, dementia, is that in there too?
Let me see. Yeah, Alzheimer's and dementia is #5. I think you might have noticed there was a publication that came out just recently from Dr. Dean Ornish. He proved that Alzheimer's can be prevented or reversed with specifically through lifestyle, not through the medication. My mother has dementia. She's been on dementia, 3 different dementia meds for 10 years now. And the doctor just asked her to come back every 6 months to refill her prescription, but it's not doing anything. It
Yeah,
does
actually,
not help.
Let me be clear too. You all may know this, that most of these non-communicable diseases, if you get them and you go to a doctor that is not board certified in lifestyle medicine, they will not tell you that there's a cure for anything. They will just manage your symptoms till the day you die. Okay, so what we're offering is hope. Like I said, our mission is fun. Our secret mission is fun. No one's having fun if that's the answer that you get when you go to your doctor. But if you go to an enlightened doctor, certified in lifestyle medicine, and I'm telling you, you will see more and more of these doctors as time goes on. They know. As long as you're open-minded as a patient, they will tell you what to do.
Yeah. So one of the medications that my mother was on has been pulled from the market. So she's only on 2 anymore. But with lifestyle, it's not just about the food, though we think that's the most important part. She should also be exercising and socializing. She doesn't do that. She sits in the recliner all day. So yeah, you can't do that and get better.
All right. So what's the root of almost all non-communicable disease? Metabolic syndrome. You guys familiar with what metabolic syndrome is? It's basically an out of balance situation with the body. Everything about life is balance. Your body always wants to remain alive. It always wants to remain in balance. So what does it do to get your attention when things become out of balance? It's called Non-communicable disease, right? Specifically, the pain is non-communicable disease. So I'm just trying to draw the connection here. You understand what I'm talking about. The World Health Organization already knows all this. Any doctor that is board certified in lifestyle medicine already knows all this. But nobody else that you will see knows any of this at this point in time in 2024, except unless you're here, okay? So anyway, metabolic syndrome is the root cause of all other non-communicable diseases. It's just an out of balance situation that you have with your body, mostly caused by food.
Finding balance with whole plants. Mike likes to say balance a lot. And it's because of the natural makeup of food. It comes with the fiber and the water already in it, and that's how your body recognizes it as food. And we read Dr. T. Colin Campbell's book, Whole. He talks about how you can't just add a supplement. Yeah, we love Colin Campbell. You can't just take supplements to get what you're missing out on. You absorb the nutrients by eating the whole plant. So that way you get the fiber and the water and all the nutrients that come with it. That's the best way to get your vitamins.
Yeah, like Denise said, I talk about balance a lot. Whole plants are in balance. The minute you start to remove it from a whole plant state, you can blend it, you can cut it. That's okay. That's minimally processed. But anything more than that, you have disturbed the balance. You will start to develop over time non-communicable disease. I can't tell you how soon. It could be 10 minutes. It could be 25 years. But eventually, if you stay alive long enough, you will get non-communicable disease. So you got to stay to mostly whole plants.
Yeah, and we're not trying to vilify juice because I know that you all like juices, but you should be eating plants with fiber in addition to the juice.
We got a lot of slides to get
Yeah,
through,
we
so
have
let's get
more
going.
slides on that
Process.
later. So what we mean by processing food is anything beyond what Mike just said, cutting or blending it. If you're cooking it, you're destroying some of the nutrition properties. If you're adding stuff to it, like salt and oil, or if you're dehydrating it, removing some of the water from it, then you've got processed food. And the more processing, the less benefit you're going to get from your food.
Yes, the natural state is in balance. Processing, like Denise said, keep this in mind. Try to look at food in this manner, all right? If you're removing water, like she said, that's a form of processing. Cooking is a form of processing. That's why at this event there's no cooking, okay? Now, we developed our healthy vegan food standard to apply to both cooked food or raw vegan food. In this case, we're talking about raw vegan food. I'm making the distinction by telling you that the reason why raw is better is because it's less processed. It's more living food, okay? And like Denise said, you'll ever want to eat your food in an isolate form, which is oil, salt, refined sugar, or anything that's not the fully balanced version of the plant.
Next slide. So this is a certification that we developed because we used to give talks at Veg Fest and people would say, well, what do you eat then? Your food needs to have whole plant fiber in it in some form. Zero animal products, because we know from Dr. Campbell that animal protein is associated with cancer or an increased risk of cancer. Zero added oil, because what Mike just said, that's the most processed you can get, is extracting the oil out of a food that's not good. Zero added salt or sodium. Once again, that's an isolate as well. It's crushed rocks. There's nothing good for you in it. You might think you're getting your iodine, but you can get your iodine from other things.
Dr. Furman, he said you can get cocaine has minerals.
Yeah, it doesn't make it good for you. Yeah.
They're very, very high in sodium, so you have to process them to pull the sodium out. So again, you're getting in that cycle. Every plant has sodium that I know of, so nobody needs to add sodium. Yes, you need full nutrition, but from a variety of whole plants.
Yeah, we used to get sea moss for the iodine, but
yes, but you have to process
I
it.
feel yeah.
I ate it one time without. That was.
So we don't add any alcohol to our food because alcohol is one carcinogen.
Yeah, these are the 6 things. Actually, lifestyle medicine has 6 pillars, but our thing has 6 pillars as well, right? So
For the healthy vegan
so
food.
that's what Denise is going through.
Yeah.
6 facets of healthy vegan food.
And 0 refined sugar. We're okay. According to T. Colin Campbell's organization, agave and maple syrup are okay for you, but we don't
Or
add,
dates.
or dates, yeah, but we don't sweeten stuff with sugar.
Unless it's a cheat meal. That would be considered a cheat meal.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, so next one.
Next slide. So when people ask what we ate at a Veg Fest once, so I created a slide of what we did on one particular day. At this meal, we had a bunch of fruit for breakfast. We do have some cooked things even out, like a chai tea latte. That's from soy milk. You gotta cook the soybeans to make soy
Yeah,
milk.
we probably more than 50% raw. We would advocate actually, ideally, 100% raw because, as we just talked about earlier, cooking is a form of processing. You are eating a compromised food when you cook it.
Yeah. So we always have a giant smoothie for lunch. And this night for dinner, we had a huge salad with all those vegetables, tomatoes, peppers, cucumber. We use chia seeds for our omega-3s and flaxseed. And let's see, there was a banana in there for a snack. This was a light day. This added up to 1,100 calories. Mike had a greater portion of this than I did.
Yeah, we always have to do that because, well, actually, you'll find that if you eat what we're talking about, only healthy vegan food, that you need to keep eating. There is no portion control ever, and I don't want a diet that has portion control because I don't want to stop eating. Okay, I'm a big eater. I'm not a chef either, so I want someone else to prepare the food for me. If you like to do that, give me food.
Oh, we found Cindy's kitchen salad dressing here. It's a mango coconut.
One dressing by one manufacturer in one store.
I know.
It's very hard to find.
It's because we hate to cook.
Yes.
Yeah,
But only
yeah,
one.
it's
Only
Cindy's-
one type that they have.
You can get it at Sprouts. But I like homemade dressings too, especially when like Ellen makes one because she'll put lots of lemon in there and maybe some vinegar. Yeah, it's all yummy. But we don't like to cook much, so I know we can get
Yeah.
Cindy's Kitchen stuff.
Actually, let me also clarify that whenever you buy a prepared vegan or plant-based product, like you're talking about a salad dressing, a sauce, a condiment, almost every time, unless it's well your world, it's not compliant with what we're talking about. You have to custom make your own stuff. To do that, just eat straight plants. That's the only thing you can do in today's world. Because I'm just trying to be straightforward with you guys. You're going to hurt your health if you do anything else.
Yeah. If I can't find anything else and we're out eating a salad, I'll get a fat-free Italian. But if you look at the sodium, it doesn't look good. But at least there's no oil in it, which I think oil is worse for you than. But if you look at the pie chart, this falls in line with Dr. Graham's book, the 80-20, 80-10-10, because the protein and the fat only make up for 20% of your calories. The other 80% is carbs. So for all the people out there trying to follow Atkins, these are good carbs.
Let me clarify too. I'm sure you guys know it, but if you want to explain to your doubting friends, carbs are good, but you must be specific. We're talking whole plant carbs. The other carbs that people avoid, which they're right, is processed carbs. So any processed, aka prepared vegan or plant-based food, is the bad carbs. You don't want to eat any of that unless it's a cheat meal, okay? And by the way, just to clarify, I'm 54, Denise is 53, okay? I expect to live to 150 anyway, okay? I just want to let you know what the expectations are of what we're talking about.
You guys are in your 50s?
Yes.
Yeah, we're in our 50s. I have a hard time though. I go to an office 3 days a week where I'm presented with things like birthday cake. Every week somebody's having a dang birthday. I have to avoid all of that stuff. Mike finds it easy.
Well, I've always been, that's another story. Talk to me afterwards.
Yeah, we can go to the next slide.
Oh.
So fiber, yeah. We're so tired of people saying, where do you get your protein? We get plenty of protein. My question is, where do you get fiber? Because that's more important.
Big question.
If you read Dr. Greger's book, How Not to Diet, the thing that he says every other word practically is fiber. That's what people are missing out on. That's why they get hungry and overindulge in all the wrong stuff.
I also want to give some new news out that's been out recently. According to Harvard University, they released a study that says that 90% of people do not get enough fiber every single day. Every single day, 95%. Go look it up on the internet if you don't believe me, okay? This is why we say don't eat any fiberless foods unless you are 100% sure that you're getting all your fiber every day. And then if you are, then you have a cheat meal like juice, whatnot, whatever. From time to time, we'll have it. No problem. But just, I want to make sure I'm getting my fiber. Now, the reason why is because of gut health. That's the key, okay? Your gut microbiome will never be in balance unless you eat enough fiber. 95% of people don't get enough fiber. You're going to have psychological issues, basically. Because if your gut is out of balance, you're screwed up too. And all of that is because people are not getting enough fiber. There's no wonder there's a lot of mental health problems. There's no wonder.
So yeah, the American Heart Association says you need 25 to 30 grams. Some days we get twice that much. So if you're not getting enough fiber, you're not feeding your gut bacteria, and that will cause mental imbalances and all kinds of stuff. I remember when I was in college, long before I met Mike, there were days I'm sure I was getting zero fiber. I was just eating crap all day long. I weighed 205 pounds. I had uncontrollable acid reflux. I even had surgery for it, and it didn't go away. I was getting skin problems like cysts and skin tags, and I know it was all because of my diet. So that's all changed. Next slide. So your gut microbiome, yeah, the majority of your serotonin is produced in the gut. So if you're feeding your gut enough fiber, then you're going to be having problems. Yeah, and I'm surprised by how little a counselor or a psychiatrist will tell you this if you go to their office.
If you have mental health problems, have you ever heard anybody go for mental health problems? I'm going to give you a solution, right? That's what
No, you won't
that's
come
the
back
problem. That's the problem right now.
if you've got the solution.
Yeah, there's nothing to manage for the rest of your life. Yeah.
Right. Next slide. So that's a papaya. That's actually something at the Amazon Fruit Festival. So yeah, I already mentioned gut health.
Okay.
I need enough fiber. Next slide. Yeah. So yeah, Dr. Campbell, one of our heroes, was quoted. He keeps VegFest talking about how animal protein turns on cancer. You could practically turn it on and off in rats by feeding them more than 5% of their diet in casein. They started getting cancer.
Yeah, so the reason we say this is the second facet of healthy vegan food. First one is has to have plant fiber. We went over that. Second one is no animal products. So why would you want to eat something that this guy says causes cancer in humans? We know he's proven that. Go get his book if you don't believe him. That's why we say zero animal products.
Yeah, that's it. Not only is it promotes cancer, but it causes inflammation too. And like most animal products are high fat too. That's what. Yeah, there's zero fiber. And I think all the fat is what stirred up my acid reflux too. So
super high calories from fat. We'll get to that as well.
Yeah, when I went fruitarian, my acid reflux went away. So, yeah, Dr. Campbell wrote this quote about if everyone were to adopt a whole food plant-based diet, I really believe we could cut our healthcare costs by 70 to 80%.
Now, why is that? Because 75 to 80% of all health problems are non-communicable diseases. I just want to draw this back. He's saying that, yes, it's non-communicable disease. Yes, you can do something about it. If, we have the highest per capita expenditure on healthcare in the world, I believe, in the United States, and the worst outcomes. So we can cut that by 75%. Just keep that in mind. We should not be paying anywhere near what we're paying. And by the way, the outcomes would be incredibly good at a 75% reduction in cost.
Yeah. I work for a Fortune 100 corporation, and they admittedly spend $1 billion a year on healthcare. Just imagine how much good we could do if that went to something else.
So 750 million they could do something else with.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a lot of money.
You can go to the next slide. Yeah, we could grow more plants with that money. So Mike likes to talk about insulin resistance.
Oh, me? Okay. All right, what is this slide?
Insulin.
Okay, basically, insulin resistance, if you guys don't know, we're talking about type 2 diabetes. Type 1 is a little bit different, although type 1 is also modifiable, as people are finding out. I'm just talking about the science. I'm not a medical doctor. Go see a board-certified lifestyle medicine physician. They already know this. But basically, most of the reason why people have insulin resistance is because of eating too high of a percentage of calories from fat in the diet. You guys have probably never been taught how to calculate the percentage of calories of fat in your diet, and you need to know this. And actually, a shortcut is eat low-fat foods, super low-fat, okay? You don't have to calculate it, but we're going to get into this as to how to calculate that in a second here.
Okay.
Well,
The next
actually,
slide has a
wait.
calculate.
Oh, it does, okay. But let me also say, insulin resistance, what happens is it's at a cellular level, so your cells get screwed up to the point via too high a percentage of calories and fat that they resist all of this, and you develop this, they call it insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes. It's a lifestyle disease. It's a non-communicable disease.
So I know you can't see this formula, but you know how many calories are in a gram of fat, right? Who wants to tell me? Who knows? Who knows? 9. Yeah, exactly. So you find your food label. You can't go by the label. It gives you they're allowed to lie on the percentage of fat on a food label. So to calculate it yourself, yeah, you multiply the grams of fat by 9, since there are 9 calories in a gram of fat, and then divide the calories of fat by the total calories and multiply by 100. That's how you get to it.
So yeah, say 100. There's 100 calories. Serving of 100 calories. Let's say you see 4 grams of fat. Doesn't sound like much, does it? In 100 calories, but 4 times 9 is 36. That's 36% of 100 calories is fat. That's way too high. I'm telling
Yeah.
you, that is more than that's about double the max you should be having.
Right.
Does
So
it say on here
yeah.
that 10, 20?
Uh,
No, I can't see it.
I can't
Okay, well-
see it all.
Okay, well,
But-
if you need this calculation, contact me, okay? But let me tell you right now, most people want to be between 10 and 20% calories from fat. You'll find that if you're eating whole plants that are not nuts, seeds, and avocados, that you're right in there. Somehow nature already figured this out, okay? You don't have to do anything. So that's the easy thing. But if you're eating prepared foods, you must do this calculation every single time. If not, I guarantee you, you're eating way too high of a percentage of calories from fat. You're causing metabolic syndrome, ultimately insulin resistance, and just about any other or all other non-communicable diseases. As long as you can keep yourself alive long enough, you'll probably get them. Or you can just eat whole plants, watching and being mindful of the nuts, seeds, and avocados. You got to be very careful with those, okay? Or just don't eat them, okay? That's a whole other thing to get into. But then you don't have to worry about it because nature already has it figured out. You don't have to worry about it.
So according to Dr. Graham, a low-fat diet is 10% or less. And if you think 2% milk it falls into that category, it doesn't.
That's not 2% calories from fat.
No, if you do the math, it's more like 11. So it's not low-fat.
Most animal products, another reason to never eat them, they're way above 20%. Way, every single one, unless you're eating like skim milk. And then again, you're eating protein that causes cancer from humans if you're drinking skim milk, so don't do that.
Just,
And there's no fiber.
just avoid it. Yeah,
So again,
just avoid
I'm
it
just trying to get
altogether.
Constantly, there's no reason to eat animal products. There used to be a reason when we weren't sure if we were going to make it to the next day or next week, okay? But that's not, we don't live in that world anymore.
No. You can go to the next slide. So on oil, Dr. Esselstyn does a presentation which you can watch on our website. It's about an hour long. He just talks about how it wrecks your endothelium. So if you want to have healthy endothelium cells, just don't eat any oil at all, not even olive oil, because the Mediterranean diet caused people to get better because they were eating more vegetables. They did that despite the oil, not because of the oil.
Yeah, and this is right after the calculation of fat, okay? Because this is about fat. Oil is 100% calories from fat. You don't need to calculate it. It's 100%. It is the absolute worst, highest fat food you can possibly eat. It's an isolate of fat. There's no fiber. There's no water. Even though it's liquid, there's no water in there. It's all fat, okay? So you're not getting anything beneficial for some trace nutrients that you will get. Let's say your olive oil, avocado. Just eat the whole plant. That's where you're going to get all your nutrition from. You will not get it from the oil form. That's another reason. And yes, go to healthyveganfood.info. That's our website. You can watch the videos Denise mentioned from Dr. Esselstyn where he explains all the science behind. Wait, Dr. Esselstyn, if you don't know him, he's a cardiologist with the Cleveland Clinic. I think he's retired now. But he has, in his career, he was reversing heart disease. That was his job. So that's the guy I want to go to when he says, don't ever have a drop of oil, he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, you can go to the next slide. So fat, recent research suggested, or at least it started to prove that the fat will actually clog the capillaries in your brain and lead to Alzheimer's and dementia. So another reason to avoid oil.
Yeah. This is okay. Obviously, Alzheimer's and dementia is a big hot button right now. It's a big issue that's out there, and of course, Dr. Ornish's study showed that you don't need to have it, or you can reverse it without pharmaceuticals. What's the cause of it? What's creating it? Well, people are saying it's type 3 diabetes, right? So basically, it's the end stage of insulin resistance. It's when you have so much fat circulating through your system, it eventually screws everything up in your brain, basically, okay? That's a not my non-scientific explanation, but that's what happens. So another reason why you need to concentrate on eating a low-fat diet, the way nature intended. Remember I said if you just eat whole plants minus the nuts, seeds, and avocados, you got to watch those, okay? Outside of those, eat all you want, eat all the time, never calculate. How's that possible? Because nature already figured this out. We're the ones that screwed it up. That's the problem, and now we're paying the price. Alzheimer's dementia is epidemic right now.
You can go to the next slide. Mike Flex likes to avoid added sodium at all costs because all plants have sodium. If you remember that slide of what we ate in a day a few slides back, all that stuff that you didn't think had any salt in it still had 380 milligrams of sodium for the day, which I don't think there's any minimum that you're supposed to have. I don't know.
You don't have to worry about the minimum if you're eating whole plants because it's already in there, like Denise said, right? So just eat whole plants and don't eat any added salt. Let me give you the quick rundown. No fiber in salt, no water in salt, very little nutrition, and if you eat your sea salt, you also get, according to Dr. Furman, minerals in cocaine. There's no reason why you want to have all the negatives that go along with something that you can get from other whole plants.
So the sodium is in the plants, but this is sodium chloride. It's
True.
chemically. And when it comes to minerals, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
It's okay.
In the plants, there are organic minerals. The minerals are the same as when they are inorganic, but when I say organic, it means they are incorporated into the tissue of the plant, and your body can only extract them and assimilate them when they are organically in the tissues of the plants. In the rock, salt is a rock.
Yes.
Sodium chloride, and then the minerals are inorganic, which means that they are yet not to be in the tissues of the plants.
Yes, that's important.
I'm sorry.
Well, actually, thank you for bringing that up. Can I add something here? That is extremely important. I want to clarify some things that you just said because it's 100% correct. And the reality is, when you eat added salt in almost every case, unless it's from seaweed, which is super, it's got other issues. Anything in the sea is polluted beyond belief. Okay, that's one of them. But okay, if you're eating salt in that state, it's a rock, basically, like you said. Unless it's a sea vegetable, most people, it's a rock. So in other words, you're eating a mined mineral. Would you ever go out and mine something, on purpose? Because we're supposed to be eating plants, right? I just want to make sure we're on the same page. It's not a plant, like you said. It's not bioavailable to the body because you're not supposed to be eating minerals you mine. There is a history to this. Okay, let me also say, in the past, I understand we didn't have refrigeration, right? We didn't have freezers. We didn't have reliable transportation. How are we going to keep your food? Well, two ways. You're going to add salt to it. It'll preserve it, or you make it into alcohol. But we don't need to do that anymore. Okay? I'm saying, why are we so locked into that tradition? Like, we don't need to do that. We had to do it to survive. Now it's hurting us, so we need to stop.
Yeah. Good explanation. You can, next slide. Alcohol, I mentioned it's a group 1 carcinogen according to the World Health Organization, so we don't add it to our food. I wouldn't say that we never drink. We go to weddings and we try to have fun too, but we don't make this a part of our regular routine.
Yeah, exactly. It is a carcinogen. I just wanted to get that clear because the restaurants don't tell you this, the grocery stores don't tell you this, the gas stations don't tell you this, the bars don't tell you this. Why? Because they're all making money. They don't care about your health. They want to make as much money as possible, okay? This is a carcinogen. You would never knowingly consume another carcinogen over and over again on purpose if you care about your health. So there's nothing that we can't call it healthy. That's what I'm just trying to say. Like, this is the minimum standard. We can't call it healthy, unfortunately.
Yeah. Next slide.
Yes.
Yeah, it promotes cancer.
Go to any search engine. You'll find it's all over the internet. Okay,
It promotes cancer.
Actually, there's different levels, okay? This is a class 1 Class 1 is the highest known level of cancer-causing ability of any of the classes. So there's no question. It causes cancer. The only question is how long is it going to take? And yeah, you might be a super hardy a person. I heard of people's grandmothers that lived to 96 and 97 drinking a shot of whiskey a day. But that's akin to putting your retirement planning into winning the lottery. No one in their right mind would do that.
Yeah. Next slide. We still have a bunch more. On supplements, we do take B12 supplements. I heard that nowadays everyone is deficient in B12 because even the animals aren't eating it in the quantities that they used to. So that's our only exception to the things that you want to supplement.
Oh, yeah.
You can
Yeah, because supplements are isolates, right? We talked earlier about how isolates cause problems in humans. If you have to take one, like Denise said, B12, I'm not sure about this one. I'm truly not, okay? So I'll take a B12 pill. But like Denise said, we don't take anything else because anything else you want, here's a shortcut. If you feel like you go to your doctor and the doctor says, hey, I got your blood test back, you're low in this. Well, go to a search engine, look up a whole plant that's high in that, and eat more of that. Don't take a supplement unless you can't find that food nearby because that food is designed for you. Remember, the supplement is an isolate. We already know that that's going to cause problems, unfortunately.
Oh, the sublingual. I've heard that that's better. Some people get it intravenously.
I'm truly not sure about this. I know people that. Yeah, I don't know. I know that some people that don't take B12, and apparently they get tested and their blood levels are fine B12. So I don't even know if we need to take this. I'm just taking it because I'm not sure. Yeah.
We haven't gotten tested lately. I'll
Yeah.
put that on my to-do list.
Yeah.
You can go to the next slide. Yeah, theoretically, you can't overdose on B12 because it's water soluble.
They'll monitor you. They'll make sure you're right.
Yeah, you can go to the next slide. But, on refined sugar, so like I mentioned, we follow T. Colin Campbell's institute on refined sugar. Maple syrup and agave and dates are okay, but we try to avoid table sugar because there's nothing good for you in there and it's inflammatory.
Yeah, again, refined sugar is an isolate. That's the problem, right? We already determined isolates are not balanced foods. Yeah, they'll explode your taste buds like the oil will and the salt will too, but your body is going to suffer because of that. So the reality is, you guys probably, our taste buds are designed for survival back when we weren't sure if we were making it to next week, everyone, you know? But we don't live in that world, so you need to ignore your taste buds. I mean, yeah, at our events, we'll make the tastiest foods possible, but you cannot go for the massive explosion of extreme pleasure all the time because you're going to be constantly sick.
Our genetics haven't caught up to our lifestyles yet with all the processed food. You can go to the next slide. Cooking, there's a tomato that's raw and here's one that's been cooked. I'm sure you all, since you're at this festival, you know that removing the water and cooking stuff destroys some of the nutritional value. So yeah, we like to eat raw as much as possible. High raw, they call it.
So that's the raw part.
Yeah, next slide. So that certified healthy vegan food standard that we mentioned, that's the minimum that we can say in good conscience call healthy food. You
Yes.
Notice we didn't even specify that it needs to be organic. We recommend that, but if you're going to start somewhere, at least start with this minimum.
Yes. Yeah, it's a journey, it's a process. We as an organization, we want everybody to kind of get up to a minimum standard because the word healthy is thrown around all over the place, okay? Like I said, word on the street is if you watch What the Health, all plant-based foods are good for you and healthy. That's not true. That misled a lot of people. We see a lot of ex-vegans now because of this, okay? So that's why we developed our own standard. You guys, you ever heard of whole food plant-based, WFPB? It's on my license plate out there. What's the definition of that? There is no universally accepted definition. People are all over the place. That's why we came up with our healthy vegan food definition. Remember, it's 6 facets: no alcohol, no animal products, has to have plant fiber, no added oil, no added salt, no refined sugar. That is the minimum that we're going to call healthy, because anything else, I know you're going to get hurt over a period of time. Now, like Denise said, can we do better than that? Yes. But the reality is most of the world isn't even close to what we're talking about with healthy vegan food. So we want to start somewhere. And yeah, we'd rather you eat food that was grown without chemicals, which is better than organic, by the way, because organic is not chemical free, unfortunately.
Right. Next slide. Let's see, you have a little, yeah, this is about health optimization. What we call health optimization is fully balanced health verified by the absence of non-communicable diseases. So when Mike gets into online arguments about whether or not it's okay to incorporate oil and someone is steadfast
Yeah.
arguing with him, usually they're on some kind of medication.
Yes,
So-
yes. And this is another term that we coined, right? Earlier we said we coined sustainable veganism. That's all we're doing. We're only sustainable veganism because veganism is not sustainable the way most people practice it. Health optimization, this is how we define it. We only care about positive results. We only care about having fun. If someone has non-communicable disease, then that is not health optimization, okay? I don't care if they're calling it, they have a healthy lifestyle, it doesn't work. So that's how we defined it. We want to define our terms. This is on our website. Health optimization is fully balanced health verified by an absence of non-communicable disease.
So we're not on any medications. We don't have time for that. We like to travel.
We like to have fun. That's what we want to do.
Yeah,
Have fun.
yeah,
We
and
want
have
all
fun.
of you to do whatever you want and have fun. It's only possible if you're absent of non-communicable disease.
Yeah. Next slide. So we do have recommendations. We're not going to tell you what to do, what not to do. We're saying this is based on our research. This is what works, and then based on our own absence of non-communicable diseases, this is what works. But we recommend if you're going to see a doctor for advice, at least see a board-certified lifestyle medicine doctor. Go ahead.
Again, doctors that are board certified lifestyle medicine, this is going to be the future of medicine. All doctors will have this knowledge in the near future. There are about 25 right now lifestyle medicine organizations worldwide. Different countries the United States has several, I think, right now. Okay, ACLM is one, American College of Lifestyle Medicine. They're probably the biggest in the world right now. But just go on to any search engine, type in Lifestyle Medicine Association, you'll find. I'm actually trying to compile a list because it's the next thing for sure.
Yeah. Next slide. So there are 6 pillars in lifestyle medicine. It's not just about food, but that's the number one item is the plant-based nutrition. But physical activity is also important. We get 60 minutes of aerobic exercise every day.
12,000 steps, that's our goal.
Yeah, we do
Your phone
12,000
counts it, by the way.
steps.
You don't need a special device. Just hold your phone. 12,000 steps.
Yeah, stress management is also very important. I do meditation at bedtime. It really helps. Avoiding risky substances like drugs and alcohol. Well, yeah,
We
even
didn't mention that alcohol is addictive. I'm sure we all have heard that.
yeah. Well, even caffeine isn't good for you.
Yeah. Well, that's a whole other. Yeah, I can go on about that one, but that's another call.
Yeah.
People aren't ready for that one.
Restorative sleep. My Fitbit tracks my sleep. And social connections, like we're doing right here. We need those.
Like-minded people, open-minded people.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, I found that, as we talked about, this is a journey, okay? We don't claim to know what the perfect way of living is. I don't think anybody knows at this point in time. We're still learning. But what you need to do is surround yourself with people that are of a similar mindset. They're learning. They want to do better because I don't know anybody that stays the same. You're either doing worse in your health or you're getting better. So you need to actively try if it's important to you. I have to, that I need to emphasize, and we'll get into another resource in a second here about that.
Yeah. Next slide. So what some people have been waiting for, this is our health optimization cruise. Yeah. We used to go on another cruise that people thought would be healthy, but Mike always ended up getting sick eating all the food on that ship. There was too much sodium. By the end of the week, he was looking and feeling like crap. So someone approached us about doing our own cruise since we had a lot of people showing up for our healthy vegan food Indian buffets. People were out the door waiting in line to come to our buffet. And a travel advisor said, why don't you do a cruise? Invite all these people. So that's what we did. We did our first one back in January, and it went really well. So we have another one coming up next January. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I want to also mention that these are experiences like this event. we have to have more experiences, as many experiences as possible that have at least healthy vegan food at them. Because if we could talk all day about why this is, and I think it's irrefutable. The evidence is irrefutable. You can find somebody that says, oh, I don't do this. And like I said, yeah, there is that grandmother who lived to almost 100 and took a shot of whiskey every day. But that is not probably going to happen for anyone. Okay, yes, it can happen, but I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about outliers. I'm talking about what's really going to happen to people. We don't want anybody to be sick, so we created these events. These events, this is a vacation that you don't have to recover from. You have fun. You go out. You eat all you want. We had somebody that lost 7 pounds eating as much as she wanted. It's all you can eat the whole time. 7 pounds in a week, and she kept it off, right? She just told us this. That quote's going to go on our website.
Yeah, there were other people that were losing weight too, and nobody was hungry. You can ask for as much food as you want.
Yeah, and it was good. It was all prepared food. The chefs did an amazing job. These chefs have to be open-minded. That's the other thing. It's so hard to find open-minded chefs. Yeah.
I can attest, I've been on that.
Yeah, that's right.
And these guys did an incredible thing from day 1 to day 7, so the 7 days. You know, everybody was trying it out, everybody's doing the best. The kitchen started out not fully raw,
Yeah.
but by the middle of the week, certainly by day 7, everything was raw.
Yeah, we never said that you could have anything raw other than 3 meals, I think is what we promised people on
Yeah.
that cruise. But I don't know if you
At
saw.
sea.
Yeah,
Yeah,
at sea. But
3
on days at
meals.
sea, that's right, at lunch. But this coming 2025 January, if you want to eat fully raw, healthy vegan food, you can. You don't have to pay extra. You don't have to give any advance notice. We guarantee you will be able to have that, and every meal will have lunch and dinner are 4-course plus meals. You know, you're at least 4 courses, right? They didn't repeat them. I think no courses were ever repeated. So you get a variety of food the entire time.
All vegan 4-course meal?
Yes. Every meal. That's what we're guaranteeing for this year. We didn't guarantee that the first year, but now we know we have their guarantee that you will be able to eat like that if you want. Yeah.
Is it family friendly? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Toddlers, like, are we gonna be able to bring our kids?
Yeah, there's still a daycare on the ship, just like everybody else has. Yeah, yeah, it's healthy. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a brand new ship. Yeah. What's that?
It's on Celebrity.
Celebrity is a high-end cruise line, and I will tell you, I've been on other cruises. I don't know how you felt. It was the best service I've ever received, and I was the event organizer. You know, I was stressed out.
Yeah, the staff was really accommodating for us, and the ship is brand new and beautiful, like he mentioned. Yeah, so and the raw vegan meals were more popular, I think, than some of the cooked meals. The lasagna, raw lasagna was really good. Yeah.
To experiment with, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and actually, let me clarify something else, okay? Because we know that not everyone here is 100% raw. We eat at least 50% raw every single day. We love to get to 100%. It's just so hard, okay? But we offer the first year was cooked healthy vegan food with 3 raw meals. This next year is, if you want 100% raw healthy vegan food at every single meal, multiple courses, and also, I don't know if you know this or not, but we haven't put this on the website yet. We work with one of the doctors who's concerned. He's like, Mike, not everybody's there yet. Not everybody wants this healthy vegan food. Not raw, not cooked, not any of it. And they want to eat with us. So I was like, well, what can we do? And we sat down, we developed a new standard called transition food, all right? And we asked the cruise line, will you offer at our same private dining room? I don't think you know this either, Steve. He was on the cruise. We offered it. We're going to offer that. So anybody who is not quite ready for a healthy vegan food can eat with us. It'll be a different version of the same course, because you'll have a cooked healthy vegan food, a raw healthy vegan food, or a transition. It's the same item, it's just prepared in a different way. Yeah, the 5th through the 12th.
Yeah.
From Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's healthoptimizationcruise.org is the page on our website. Healthoptimizationcruise.org.
Yeah. So I think there are more slides on the cruise, so
Yeah,
you can, yeah, there's 5th through the 12th. Yeah.
The coldest time of the year. Going to
So,
People have New Year's resolutions.
yeah, that's
oh
it.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah, good time
And
to
like I said,
go.
we got the transition now, so we want everybody to get involved in this. That's what I'm saying. We need to reach people where they are, but I told this doctor, because this was a board-certified lifestyle medicine doctor that was on it was Dr. what's his name? We visited him.
Jimmy Lunas?
No, not him. He's
him.
going to be back.
Strickland.
Dr. Strickland. Yeah, him and his wife were there. Yeah, he's board certified in lifestyle medicine. He said these people aren't ready. He's from Alabama. He's like, people aren't ready.
Right.
I was like, well, I don't want to water this down. You know, we're not doing the festival events anymore because of that. And so we jointly developed a standard. Like I said, you have to ask for it. It will not be given to you unless you ask, but you can ask for it at any time.
Yeah. So usually when someone says transition food, they think Beyond Burgers with cheese. It's not going to be that bad. It's going to be healthier.
It had to be low enough so his patients would show up, but as high as possible, you know?
Did you
Yeah.
know all plant food is carcinogenic?
Oh, well, actually, that's...
Well, we've
you're
heard
talking about
that.
acrylamide?
All
Okay, let's talk about that, actually, because we're talking about... That's the difference between healthy vegan food that's cooked and raw healthy vegan food. If you're not cooking, you're not ever heating above 350 degrees. Whenever you heat something above 350 degrees, it is known that acrylamide will form on that food. Acrylamide is a known carcinogen, a known human carcinogen. So if you ever cook food, we say cook it a maximum of 345 degrees, never go above 350 if you can avoid that.
Dr. Grant talked about that yesterday. The browning causes the gens.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
acrylamide, yeah, because it's a form of processing, again, right? It's like the higher the heat, the more the
All
cook, the more the
recipes
process.
are 350 or up. Set your
Everything
stove 350 or
Yeah,
375.
we just change ours.
Yeah.
We drop it lower and cook it longer. But I don't almost never cook, so I'm an eater. I'm an eater, not a cook.
we set our air fryer to 345. You can go to the next slide. So there's a route that we're taking from Fort Lauderdale. We're stopping in St. Martin, St. Thomas, and Puerto Plata, Puerto Rico.
All this is on the website, healthoptimizationcruise.org, if you want to look at the ports.
Yeah. So last time we were in St. Martin, we did the 12-meter regatta, if you're interested in the excursions.
Oh, yeah. That's
Yeah.
fun, yeah. Again, this is fun. We want it to be fun. Okay?
Yeah, we
Like,
were having fun.
Because cruises, if you guys have been on cruises, they're fun. That's what they say. We're like the anti-cruise. That's when I get like more so than anybody else. But you still get the brand new ship. You get all the professional entertainment, right? That's the thing. On our ship, the entertainment was, the stage was mind blowing. I thought that main
Yeah,
stage up there.
it was really cool.
It's like you get everything, and you don't hurt yourself in the process.
Yeah, you can go to the next slide. Yeah, there's some pictures from the regatta. You can go to the next slide. Oh, that's Dr. Strickland here. Somehow I felt comforted swimming with stingrays as long as there was a doctor and a nurse right beside me.
Yeah, he's the guy who helped develop the transition food standard that you'll see on the 2025. Dr. Strickland.
Dr. Ken Strickland.
No, it's-
It's Ken, isn't it?
Ken? I'm not, with the Strickland. The Strickland's husband and wife, she's a nurse and a health coach, and he's a board certified lifestyle medicine physician. They're in Birmingham, Alabama. I don't think anybody here is from Birmingham, is it? 'Cause Birmingham is
Alabama.
probably one of the more challenging areas for the food, okay? So we
Yeah.
want to bring everybody on board, like I said. We don't want to leave anybody behind. There's no reason.
Yeah, they work in the stroke belt.
Yeah, the stroke belt, right. And we visited
Next
them.
slide.
We saw everything. We visited them 2 months ago.
Yeah, there weren't any healthy vegan restaurants around where we were.
Well, there aren't in most places.
No,
So,
true. Next slide. There's some snapshots of the ship. We went to a pool party right around this pool here on the upper deck. This ship they call the Edge series because they made a lot of good use of the space that takes you out to the edge of the ocean. So they have a magic carpet ride that ascends the side of the ship too. That
It's really
it
cool.
doesn't move when the
Yeah.
ship's in
We're not
motion,
put-
but you can
this
have
is
dinner
also
there.
An old ship that's all out of style and out of date and super high polluting and all this other stuff. And by the way, when people say cruises are bad, if you look online, all you can find is the fleet-wide average of a cruise line. We're on a brand new ship. It's just like a new car versus a 30-year-old car. Which one pollutes more? The 30-year-old car, and there's 30-year-old ships all over the place in these fleets, okay? That's why these ships are not good in general, is because they have really outdated technology. That's why another reason why we wanted a brand new one.
Yeah.
Where do they get rid of their trash?
Not in the ocean. I know that. Like some, and I
Well,
know.
actually, that's a good question for
Almost 100% of cruise lines dump all their trash.
Okay, this is a good question for our next. We have a Zoom call, informational call with celebrity. We just had one, so we're gonna have another one. So we'll ask that.
Yeah, and I know when they're at port too, they're not idling their diesel engines and blowing smoke all over the place. That they
Yeah,
that
that's
they
what
can
you tell-
charge on electricity.
That's a cheat code for finding an old ship. If you see one with black smoke at the port, they are not able to plug in to electricity at the port. That's all the old ships are like that. This is one of the reasons why they're so bad for the environment. But our ship plugs in, so there's no reason to idle the engines for almost an entire day, basically.
Right. Next slide. I love that pool. You can choose your own stateroom. I'm not trying to sell you anything here, but we upgraded to one of these infinite verandas, and this window opens in its entirety, so you can blow the sea air in there, and it smells and feels great.
It's a remote and the whole side goes up and the remote,
Yeah.
the whole side goes
It'll
down.
go back down.
Incredible view of the ocean.
Yeah, it was cool.
It's a balcony.
Yeah, it's like a balcony.
Balcony,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mike was concerned that if we left it open all night because we fell asleep, we did.
We left it open all night.
He thought,
All the way down, you can create with like there, a little,
yeah, you could lower it halfway. Yeah. So we were concerned that we would have rust all over the place in the morning and seagulls. But no, we didn't get any seagulls in our room. Yeah, you can go to the next slide. So, Mike's playing with one of the pools that's out on the edge of the deck. Yeah, it's gorgeous.
There's a lot of. I just want. Like, we don't want people to be lacking, right? That's what I'm saying. When this person approached us and said I want to do a cruise with you guys, I was like, my list was so long, and I even told people that when I first got on board on this event in January, I first apologized to everyone that was there because we had a meeting of everyone was celebrity. I'm like, I'm sorry because I know no one has ever made so many demands of you guys ever. And they're like, no. I'm like, yes, I know. You don't have to be nice to me. I'm sorry, but thank you. Because I just they were the only cruise line that would accommodate us. No one else wanted to do this event. We were rejected
Yeah.
by everybody else.
Yeah. So we had a sponsor, Mitra 9, who gave us the non-alcoholic
Oh, yeah.
beverages at the bar
We offered
for
alternatives this
January.
first year if you did, because you could get alcohol on the ship, but we were not. It's not a booze cruise that we're on, okay? So we want to offer something else. People who.
Oh, yeah, you can get that
this
too.
This Cobb and Kratom stuff, it's like an intermediary thing. We're not endorsing it. We just want to. It's like a Beyond Meat or Impossible Burger of alcohol. That's how I would look at it, okay? So the ship had never done anything like this before either, but they agreed to let us bring that product on board and distribute it to people who wanted it. So that was interesting.
Yeah. There's a solarium, of course, adults only area where you can swim any time of the day or night and it's warm. And this is one of the hot tubs out on the board. We never got to go in it, so we were busy entertaining people, making sure everyone was happy. Maybe next time. Oh, there's Dr. Loomis and Chef Karen of the Doc and Chef Show. Yeah, we got to meet them. They did cooking demos at the back of the ship where you could see the water behind you. It was so cool.
You guys familiar with the Game Changers movie? Dr. Loomis was
yeah.
one of the doctors. He's a sports medicine physician. He was on our event in January. He's coming back. Him and Karen are like the original people that agreed to do this. Like I said, most people did not want to do this across the board. You know what I'm saying? It is difficult.
Yeah.
There's no question. We're just glad that we can actually do it. And by the way, this we're all volunteers. We're not. I wish we could make money doing this, but right now we're just trying to do it without losing money. That's what we're trying to do. That's how you
Yeah.
start something off.
I still work full time at my office job, but the cooking demos were fun because we got to sample everything.
Yeah.
You can go to the next slide. There's one of the fitness classes. They were doing morning yoga. Some of our friends are out here. We have that garden area to do yoga at. So yeah, we're looking for another yoga instructor for January. You can go to the next slide. Yeah, there's one. There's one right there. Well, I think you said you teach stuff too.
We all did yoga
Yeah.
competition.
Every day we had some sort of fitness activity. If there wasn't sunrise
Yeah.
yoga, we had
Actually,
net walking.
I don't know if you all joined us. Yeah, we were up at 5 a.m. a lot of the mornings, walking around the deck because this is important. Okay, this is part of it. You have to keep moving. As people get older, they tend to slow down and stop moving. That's not a good thing for health.
Yeah, never a good thing.
Other way around, maybe they get older because they stop moving.
Yeah,
True. And
yeah,
that's
that
it causes
causes
you to age
aging.
faster. Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute here too. Next one.
Yeah, next slide. Dr. Strickland did a presentation on how heart attacks and strokes happen. I thought that was cool. You can go to the next slide. And there's one of our raw vegan meals. This was a bowl of chili, but it was served in this zucchini strip.
Yeah, so you
It
said
was
gourmet,
yummy.
right? I guess this
Yeah.
is gourmet, right? I mean,
Yeah,
but it
it's
meets the
pretty.
healthy vegan food standards. No added oil, no added salt, no refined sugar. Has plant fiber in there. Does it look good? I don't know. I can't
Yeah,
see it.
yeah, it looks great.
remember
It was
eating
it was
everything.
delicious. Next slide. I think we have a dessert in there. Oh, there's our chef. He was very open to all of our suggestions.
Yeah, that's it. Open-mindedness is the key. I can't stress that enough. That's the only barrier to any of this. Is
Who else is in
closed-mindedness.
that picture, that doctor?
No, that's one of the
Staff?
cruise director staffs.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
yeah,
staff is
this is
amazing.
Dr. Borland, Dr. Ken. Sorry, not Borland. Strickland.
Strickland.
That's
Strickland,
Dr.
yeah,
Strickland
President
and his wife
Yes,
Karen.
From Birmingham, Alabama.
Yeah, I think that the ship staff thought that they wanted a challenge. They were tired of making the same
Yeah,
old
it's
stuff.
amazing when you find somebody like that. Most people don't want to do anything outside of what they're normally doing.
Right, and Lisa went on the cruise too, so you can pick her brain about it.
That's right. Lisa was there. Ask Lisa too.
Dr. Rosa.
Yeah, that's right. Yep, yep,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah,
Yeah, and Steve.
yeah, and
Yep,
Steve.
yep.
You can ask Steve too. So this is our house in Ecuador. We called it La Casa Más Alta because it's at the top of a hill. We've since planted out the yard. We're growing fruit in the back. There are papaya trees. Up front we have pineapple. And in our driveway, there are bananas growing. So you can rent this on Airbnb for less than $40 a night.
Yeah, and let me explain. Like we're done with the cruise. We're trying to tell you about some other initiatives that we're working on because we need to normalize all this. How are we going to do that? Well, like here, if you ever had like a mental exercise of thinking this through, like you heard everything we said about healthy vegan food. What if you could take this as far as you could push it and turn society into something completely new? That's this. Okay, this is in Ecuador. So Ecuador is right on the equator. That's why they call it Ecuador. Okay, so you have 12 hours of sunlight every single day. Florida is great, but you don't have 12 hours of sunlight every single day.
Is this the hottest place on earth?
No, because of that elevation. That's the thing. Okay, yeah, I'll get to that in a second. Let me just say that some of the things that are not here are hurricanes, right? How about what else is here in Florida? Oh, the water quality problems, right? Oh, how about low-lying land that might flood out? Not here, not in this area, okay? And then the other thing is just the seasons. There are actual seasons here in Florida, right? I mean, can you grow vegetables outdoors in the summertime here? Well, I think you can try, but I know farmers and nobody grows anything outdoors that's an annual plant in Florida. It's because it's too damn hot, and usually it's raining all the time, right? And other times of the year it doesn't rain. And oh, by the way, do you need air conditioning to survive here in Florida? Yes. Okay. No one's going to willingly live without air conditioning in the state, I don't think, unless you know somebody introducing me. But anyway, okay, what's your question again? Okay, the heat, yeah. Okay, so what if you could find a place that has 12 hours of sunlight, no hurricanes, no low-lying land, all these other things, okay? So you can grow outdoors all year round. What if, okay, you have to irrigate. If you grow stuff here, you have to water your stuff too because of the dry seasons. What if you could be in the Amazon rainforest because it's raining there a lot, right? That's where all the life is too, all the plants, all the animals, and then also the temperatures, right? Ideally, you want to find a place that's not too cold so you don't need heat and not too hot so you don't need air conditioning. That's the problem with Florida. You need air conditioning. So if you could not have that, it would also be very inexpensive to live, right? Especially if you find a place that is in a country that is not known for expensive properties like Ecuador. Like everything's like a third of the cost of what you think it would be here, okay? Because I know cost is a big issue here in the United States. That's why Denise said we can rent this place for less than $40 a night. It's brand new. It's got native exotic hardwoods over here. It's got granite in the kitchen. It's got a full bathroom with full walk-in shower, toilet closet, all this other stuff. Stainless steel appliances in the kitchen too, I think. And of course, you don't need heat or cool it because it never gets too hot, never gets too cold. So if we could take things as far as we could take them, this would be the new society because over here, you can grow all your plants in your backyard. Well, let's put it this way. We have to take a 4-hour bus ride over the Continental Divide of the Andes Mountains just to get there. You cannot fly a plane in there. There's no airport. Okay, so there may be planes flying above, but I never heard any airplanes when I'm there. So,
It's at about 2,500 feet of elevation.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Yes, we're in the mountains, so you have to cross over the continental divide of the coast of Ecuador, which is on the Ring of Fire, actually, where all the tsunamis take place. But on the eastern side of Ecuador, you're in the Amazon rainforest. You're at elevation, so the mild temperatures, lack of flooding, lack of natural disasters, and it's quiet. I mean, but you're with nature.
How's the road up the mountainside? Is it very narrow?
Well, this property is about 300 acres. Terra Frutis. The name of this property is called Terra Frutis. Yeah. To get there, it's right off along a road. It's not bad. No. The problem is when you cross the continental divide, because all the airports are on the west side of the continental divide of the Andes. You have to cross over that in a bus. Just close your eyes for a few hours when you're going over there, because that's the bad part. Once you're near the property, there's nothing like that. It looks like you're in a hilly area, right? It doesn't look like you're in a mountain range, but you're at an elevation between 2,500 and 3,000 feet above sea level over there. That's why you got mild temperatures. So anyway, that's it. If we could take it all the way out, that's this house.
Yeah. Okay, so how to get in contact with us, you can follow us on Instagram at plantbasedevents.info. You can go next. We have a bunch. You can follow us on Eventbrite and see what we have on our calendar
That's our calendar,
at
plantbasedevents.info.
yeah,
So
plantbasedevents.info.
Instagram is plantbasedevents.info. Browser, type in plantbasedevents.info. You go to Eventbrite and you can follow us.
Yeah, we have a YouTube channel, aPlantBasedDiet.org, where we do a lot of video reviews of coffee shops and restaurants, and you'll hear about our events too when we're there, like this event. Next, Mike has a free ebook out there called Live to 150.
All right, this is what I wanted to kind of bring together. We talked about the food because this is a raw event. You wondering why it's raw, healthy vegan food, or what the benefits are, what to tell your friends. Hopefully, have a lot of good stuff that you can talk to your friends or family members about, okay, because this stuff is irrefutable. So I put a book together. It's about 2 years old now. Okay, I'm 54. The whole premise is, look, the average person lives about 75. All right. Problem is, they spend the last 10 to 20 years of their lives, at least, and some people more, some people less, chronically ill, okay? And they only live to 75. The reason why is because they're doing almost everything wrong. People were never taught the right information. You didn't have the life manual. Your parents didn't have it. They did the best that they could, but the reality is there was no internet. I don't think when anyone else, is anyone raised with the internet here? I don't know. I was raised in you had the internet. Okay, so maybe they had a little bit. We also notice that as people are younger, they're more open-minded, they're more receptive, they're more knowledgeable about these things that we're talking about. Older people generally don't like to change, and like I said, I was raised in the 70s and 80s. There was no internet, there was no cell phones. Whenever I talked to somebody, they were attached to a cord on a wall where I knew exactly where they were. Okay, but we don't live in that world anymore. Like, I'm trying to draw a parallel here, but that's why we don't do the alcohol, we don't do the salt, we don't do all the other things anymore. We can do other things that have more fun, right? So anyway, this book is the whole life manual. It is a playlist on our YouTube channel. Go to liveto150.org. You can listen to it like a podcast or an audiobook, and it's 152 videos. There's 2 introductory chapters and 150 videos chapters, and each one is a different lifestyle habit. The food's important. More than 50%, maybe up to 80% of health is food, but the rest of it also needs to be done if you expect to live as long as you can without having non-communicable disease. There's many, 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 many things that you need to do. So this is the book.
Next slide, I think, is just our contact information. You can always email us at aPlantBasedDiet.org@gmail.com. You can get added to our newsletter. We won't spam you with a ton of content, just upcoming events. Or there's Mike's cell if you want to call or text him. Are there any questions?
Yeah, we can take questions or anything we talked about. Send us an email, aPlantBasedDiet.org@gmail.com, and just ask me for the video or whatever, because I think I mentioned a few different videos. Oh yeah, the video about how to solve Florida's climate crisis. I can send it to you if you want. Everybody needs to know that, but the reality is everyone's blaming someone else when it's within our control. So yeah, any questions? All right, well, thank you for listening. Yeah, let's go eat some healthy vegan food for lunch. Yeah.
you. Thanks for coming.
Do you
You can close that.
Yeah, you gotta give me like.
Did you happen to hear? Just before I came here, I watched a startup TV show where woman who invented that went to this startup TV show and she was asking for a startup for a company and she got support from someone from Manhattan and then she, yeah, and she went those are steps, right?
Very hair. It's out of 9 months.
Yeah, you like it's a step that you go to the
It's tried on.
it's a different one. So beautiful. While you were talking and I was like, oh, because everything was glittering. I was like, beautiful.
I bought 25 of them. I think I only have 2 left. I'm surprised you haven't.
Yeah, it's really nice stuff. Her bigger presentation was
Not yet. I will.
Maybe in between the two of you, or next year? But you don't have to get these sitting around, you can get inside. Thank you.
one more for three.
I do, and there's.
Okay, I took a couple of
Thank
them.
you. You're the best, thank you.
Not only a few of you are the best.
Yeah, so follow me on Instagram, on the other page too, and we need your information. So we'll stay in touch, and then hopefully we'll be able to be in the cruise. We need a.
Yeah, that's one of our original ones. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I actually talked to you last year about my mom. I don't know when it was, but no, I don't think it was winter. No, I was back home. My mom has lung cancer. I had contacted you because I saw you as like a health coach sort of diet. That's initially how I first saw you. So yeah, but yeah, unfortunately she's not super open to it. So
Right, I understand. That's the
and
challenge.
they're in Fort Myers. So that's why
Well, most of our stuff there is from South of Florida. I mean, that big group, that was our original one, that's our biggest group, and we're slowly changing it over. I'm going to start to talk in that group about sustainable veganism I talked about here today. You know, because we've just seen too many people leave the movement, and it's all for almost the same reason. It's the vegan junk food. Everyone's like, the bane of my existence. And,
right.
you know, just in the last,
Trying to cut out as
in the last couple of weeks, another person that we know, very active, had a massive health crisis. This is vegan. He's vegan for years. I mean, it's. I know what it is.
aspiring to.
It's okay. We're all on the journey. We're all on the
We've
journey.
been vegan 7 years.
Yeah, we're all
so we
together.
started off with okay, if it doesn't have animals, we're gonna eat
Yes,
it.
yes.
And we have a 6-year-old daughter that's almost 6 that's
There was
vegan.
a short period of time where I was definitely moving beyond stuff, like
Yeah.
specifically
Like the
around
transition.
Yeah, of course. That's all it is.
like
There's nothing.
I know.
To go out to eat.
I know. One of the projects we're going to meet with someone tomorrow about is maybe some type of restaurant that has healthy vegan or healthy vegan food at it, okay? Not 100%. We know, we understand, believe me. That's why we put in these events together. You have to normalize, you have to get enough people involved, and eventually you'll get this critical percentage of participants, and then it'll become normal, it'll become regular.
I mean, we've definitely gotten, like, over the years, a lot better.
We're here.
Right. I did. Well, I saw it in your emails, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is like a dream. And I didn't even realize at first that it was just raw. And the more I looked into it, I'm like, okay, well, we'll keep it.
But it has developed over the
No, I love
beginning of the year, really, because
vegetables,
they to me, this is, we're not
not
researching, but Sarah is, and
Right.
can you just do this with healthy vegan food? And she's, yes, I was like, oh,
Right.
because that's what that's all we're we'll do everything and anything we can to accommodate.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, because for this, the kids were significantly lower, and, you know, I just don't know if we can justify.
On this event, you're
This
right.
event,
You're
like,
right.
you know, the same price as
Well, let me see,
adult to.
maybe it's something that we, because this is only going into our second year now,
Mhm.
you know, I'm just surprised we even had it done the first year.
Yeah.
You know, it was such a
Right.
big ask
Yeah.
all around, you know?
Because the financial piece is kind of hard for us,
Yes,
because
I
you know,
understand.
I'm with my daughter, we
Yeah.
homeschool, so she's with me
You
all
do,
the
that's
time.
the best way.
I nanny a couple days a week,
Yeah.
but like, I'm not working full time, and
Yeah.
he's carrying all of us.
Yeah, I
He
understand.
does
Our
landscaping
kids
and
are older.
plowing,
Our
and,
kids
you
are older,
know,
so
so
yeah,
it's,
I know how it is,
yeah.
it's a lot, it's.
but I was like, we gotta, you know, we had like a payment plan to get here, but we did it, so we're
Yeah,
here, and,
yeah.
you know, if you want something
Yeah.
bad enough, you can do it. So.
Yeah, exactly, as I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
just because if you hear something from Liz that's not in line with what you can do, still reach back out to me as soon as you hear from her, and we can,
Okay.
I don't know, we're constantly in development, this whole event is
Yeah, right.
constantly in development,
Yeah.
you know?
Things always change.
Yeah, and I'm always asking them for more things.
Yeah, right.
And a lot of times they come back and say no, but most of the time they say yes, so it's really surprising to me.
Well, you know, keep the customer out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that the celebrity realizes that this is where things are going.
Right.
You know? So they just want to be on at the
Well, it's the whole
forefront.
thing, like, think about this, you know, like you're saying, you have enough people to do it,
Yeah.
then it's gonna happen, you know, like, there's no people to go out to eat, like, I'm still blown away, like, when we go to restaurants and we ask somebody, and I don't like really throwing out vegan. You know, like, it
Yeah.
just has that stigma to
Yeah,
it,
sure.
it's that word, you
Yeah.
know, it's like, you
I don't
have
care, I
anything-
say it.
She does, but I like, you know, you have anything with any eggs or butter in it, and they're like, oh, vegan, and we're like, yeah, vegan, you know, and just kind of like hesitate.
But sometimes they say, oh, gluten free, and we're like, no,
Yeah.
it's not gluten
Right,
free.
and they're like, no, not gluten
But
free.
you can do that on the cruise too, I think. In addition to our healthy vegan food, I think you can, we have people that are asking for gluten free. They'll do that too on the cruise.
Right, but people always confuse vegan
Yeah,
and
yeah, I know, I
gluten free.
know.
It's like it's not the
It's
same
like
at all.
there's
It's like,
definitely enough
we
people in
eat
the world.
gluten, we probably shouldn't,
Yeah.
but we do. You know, we
And
just
there is
need
that. I mean, I feel
no
like there was
animal
like-
products.
There was like a boom of like knowing a lot more vegan and like you guys talking about this, people falling off.
Yeah, there was a.
Right, you have all on YouTube all the I was vegan, but
Yeah, yeah, that's
now
right,
I'm
that's
not.
right.
you
That's
know.
because it was trendy, but
It's a
also
fad,
because
you know.
I do think that, you know, What the Health kind of blew up in that same
That's-
time frame.
Yeah.
But
That
What the
got
Health
us,
is-
we were what the
Yeah,
hell
What the
is.
Health made it sound like all you have to do is go plant-based and you get all these benefits. And I'm like, no.
We went
I mean,
on-
as a stepping stone though, for us, I think
It
it
helps,
was,
it helps.
like,
I
we
mean,
went
it
like
helps.
overnight,
I mean-
we just,
Well, the problem is, I think that what we're seeing is that some people that are leaving are saying, well, you guys weren't telling me the exact correct thing here.
right,
This
like
is-
if you live on
like-
Tofurkey and Beyond Burgers, you'll be fine, you
Right.
know?
Yeah, yeah.
But we also were like, you know, once we did that, then we went through and we were like, all right, who were they talking to? They were talking to the guy at the American Diabetes Association, so I looked him up. I looked up the stuff on the American Diabetes Association. Sure enough, they were, you know, telling people to eat scallops cooked in a low-fat oil
Yeah.
with,
Yeah.
you know, wrapped in bacon.
Yeah, so
There is no
there's a
low
lot of
fat
truth,
oil.
for sure.
You know what I mean?
There
But
was a
like-
lot of people, like, with the
Yeah.
ex-vegans, that like, that's what they're using against us now.
The
They're saying,
Cabot cheese had a Diabetes Association approved meal plan
Right,
at a
yes,
local
yes,
grocery
yes,
store. We
yeah,
live
yeah,
in Massachusetts,
yeah,
you know, Cabot
yeah,
is right in
yeah,
Vermont.
okay,
And
yeah,
so I'm
that's
like,
right,
this is
right.
great, how is this?
Oh, you're right
great?
here.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
the end of all the
There was
action.
truth into what he was saying, but then we also looked into
Well,
what he from
yeah,
Campbell, we were looking
yes,
into Essence,
yes.
we were looking into the Gregor.
You're right, you draw your homework,
So
that's
we
good.
started doing the,
That's
you
good.
know, we didn't just look at it and say, okay, well, you know, Kip said don't eat this, it'll
Yeah,
be
yeah.
fine. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
it's our
Now,
health.
here's
you
what we
know.
see now, like, because that was great, it served a purpose for sure, it helped a lot of people start that process, right? But what we're seeing is like, if we don't tell people exactly the correct thing and they have a health problem, and we're talking about health, like, it's no different than what the other industries are doing. They're just saying whatever it takes so they get as many people involved, as much money coming in. Like, that's the same kind of, we're trying to avoid that dynamic. You know?
No, I get it, but no, it's, and we do too, I mean, we tell, like, somebody asks, oh, you know, you eat the Beyond Burgers, I'm like, not really, those things aren't.
Yeah,
good."
yeah, that's right.
I'm like, they're not.
That's right.
They're maybe better than burgers, but, you know, the science isn't really out on that yet,
Yeah.
in the long term, you know.
It's a thing to help
um,
you to on your journey.
Yeah, sure.
Everyone's
No,
on a journey.
definitely. I mean,
Everyone's
it's
on a
better
journey.
than, you know, in a sense of killing a cow to eat it, you know,
Yeah.
I'd say sure, that's a better alternative, you know what I
Yes.
mean? But in
Yeah.
the sense of health,
Yeah.
Probably not, you know, it's still very fatty, it's still very.
Yeah, it doesn't mean our healthy vegan
processed.
food, doesn't mean our healthy vegan food
You know,
certification.
but so many people just go right to that.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, it's okay, we're making progress. We see it, you know?
A lot of our friends talk to us, you know, because they don't.
Yeah, it's hard, because like, we're
We're the only ones. We're the only
Yeah, I know.
Nobody gets it.
Nobody
Well,
does it.
Well, there's always different levels, and like we're always learning more. So we're constantly making progress, even though the average person usually isn't. Although we see some progress, you know, we still see some people start to go with us. But yeah, we'll always.
We've had friends that have been like, you know, oh, we cut milk out, or oh, we did
Found it
a
again,
little
sorry,
this or whatever. And so I mean, it definitely, you know, that little seed is in there.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, thanks for the work. I mean, that's part of the work that everyone's doing.
We'll
You
see
know?
where this raw thing goes. I mean, so far we've been, except for my coffee that I had on Friday.
Yeah.
Everything else that I ate Friday was all raw.
Nice.
And then obviously Saturday, today, and tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll see what goes.
Yeah. Well, I'm just glad, like I said, to see you all have this open-mindedness to where you're willing to try this, because that's the key. You know, yeah, I mean, that's it. That's the only requirement.
Yeah, that's such a big thing, and that's why we get so caught up with our parents, because it's
And I
like
can see the sky going
our
black.
father is definitely a little more, and mother,
Coach Rob come by and I'm going.
Yeah, I know. Believe me, we experience it at every level.
her mother has Alzheimer's.
Yes, and they don't want to change. In we approach them and say, hey, look at the study from Dr. Cornish. In about a month, they saw reversing of Alzheimer's without pharmaceuticals, and they're like, oh, okay.
I feel like my dad was more open to it, but like,
What? No way. That's how we roll.
yeah,
I was like,
we just literally overnight we were
Yeah.
like, we're not, we
Yeah.
never eat it again.
Well, whatever, I guess it's whatever that emotional connection is, that motivate. That's the other thing I didn't mention in here, but I mentioned in the book. Motivation is key. It's what you got to start with open-minded, but then you have to learn how to properly motivate yourself, because that's the hardest part. Once you get going, that motivation.
Yeah, we didn't even know what the health was about.
Yeah.
We were looking through, he likes like animal documentaries.
But you were right.
I'm
You're
like,
open-minded.
let's
You're
watch
right.
that.
But we had no idea.
Just bought a grill and he had grilled chicken on it for the first time. I'm like, oh, forget the grill, we made veggies on it a couple times.
It's okay. I mean, I was, like I said, I was
It was
raised.
like
I
right
don't know any
before
of this.
4th of July when all the cookouts were happening and we were like, we're gonna run.
I don't know any of this. I mean, I was raised. My parents raised, and my parents are still alive. They still don't. They're off in their own thing. And I know they did the best they could. Everyone's always trying to. I mean, I know you all are, especially your homeschool. You're doing.
We are.
I was gonna say I approve. I'm gonna say that I know that's the best thing you can do.
That's hard. But it's still not, it's not at the point in the world where like, it's easy.
Yeah.
It's not like,
Now there are
Well,
lots
it's
of
better.
homeschoolers.
It's
so-
easier than when I announced to my mom, who was a high school guidance counselor from public school in the 90s, that I was going to homeschool my kid.
okay.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
You have it easier than that.
How many kids do you have?
I have 2 biological, she has 1 biological, and we
Okay.
have 5 grandkids between us. So everyone's old.
Okay, so you homeschooled your kids?
No.
Oh.
Because I was always thinking, I'm always open-minded. I don't know, I always want that's the thing when you're a parent, especially, I know it wasn't so much before as a parent. But when I became a parent, I'm like, oh, I want the best for my kids. I'm like, who doesn't? And I'm not gonna try to stop myself if I recognize there's something I can, it's within my control that I can try to do. But not everyone's like that. My spouse at the time wasn't like that. Okay, I'm just saying, like, I didn't know. Before I got married. Yeah, we got early. Yeah, yeah, we were 20 actually. Although now in 2017, yes, yeah. So our kids are already grown.
Okay.
But she's open-minded. Denise is.
Yeah.
Like, I know where I am now. Like I didn't know when I was a lot younger. I didn't know to look for that. I didn't know that was going to be a factor.
He has
You know,
three older adult, like 20, turning
did.
22, 21, and 18.
Okay.
That he had with a previous person, so same.
Yeah.
Like,
So my oldest
so we're
daughter.
raising our daughter completely.
Right. Yeah, I get it.
different.
I get it because like, when I was with my kid's biological mother, I went through a transition where I went to the doctor when I was 30. I talk about this in my book. That's when my journey started because I was eating the standard American diet during my 20s. Went to the doctor. He says your cholesterol is high at 30. I'm like, why? That's when the internet was out. It's the year 2000. Like, the internet. Look at it, check it out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit! It's the food. You know. And so I went vegan.
Why doesn't everyone connect?
I didn't go vegan, but I stopped eating red meat, butter, cheese, and ice cream immediately, overnight. And those are staples in my diet. And then my family was pissed. I'm just saying, like there was no what the health or anything. You know, there was like, what is wrong?
My mother was like flipped out because we were going to do Thanksgiving, and I said, you know, I was like, Mom, why don't you do Thanksgiving with us? We won't have a turkey. We'll just have all the sides. Everything will be really good. Oh, geez, you can't eat.
You're anti-American now. What's going
Oh,
on?
I was a horrible mother. I didn't feed you right. I'm like, Mom, you're not that. It's nothing personal.
Yeah,
You're not
I
even
know.
saying
Yeah.
anything about it, just saying come and eat dinner.
Well, that's how
with us.
most people, it's social. Like Denise said, part of the lifestyle medicine is social.
Yeah.
So they want to get along with people. They want to do, but the problem is that also is an impediment to change. Because the minute they feel that resistance, they're like, oh, I got to stop here. You might be able to do that, but I'm not going to be able to do it.